Protect your car with 3W Liners all-weather floor mats. Made from durable materials like TPE and rubber, our mats are designed to withstand rain, snow, and mud with deep grooves to trap dirt and liquids. For a custom fit and advanced protection, visit 3W Liners. That's the number 3, WLINERS.com today.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious. Find your blend at hempdelicious.com.
This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
Hey y'all, I'm April.
And I'm Caroline.
And this is your Bloody Happy Hour. Caroline, are you ready for this?
This is your newest guilty pleasure.
It's the bloodiest part of your week.
Did we say something about it also being happy hour?
Show did.
Because we about to be sipping on some murder. Bloody happy hour.
Hey y'all, this is April.
And this is Caroline.
Bloody Happy Hour. This is your full day edition on Thursday. We call it Thirsty Thursday because it's always happy hour.
And we're thirsty.
And we're thirsty. I'm extra thirsty today.
You are very hydrated though.
So we ended with Vanessa Guillen, or you got part 1 of Vanessa Guillen last week, and I promised part 2. So here we are. You can listen to this during your spring break
or your
cleaning.
road trip, or your road cleaning. Wait, road cleaning.
Road cleaning.
I don't know what that is, but good luck doing it.
Yes, road trip or whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
You can tune in and then send it to a friend. So.
Oh, tell us what happened when you got here, because we didn't talk about it in the last episode.
Oh, yeah. So, I get out of my car and close my door, and somebody drives right in front of me and rolls down the window, and it's like, it's Bloody Happy Hour recording day. And then just kept going, and I had no idea who it was. I just knew it was a fan, so shout out to the fan. And then 5 minutes ago, we got a text.
Yes, I saw April walking from her car to the Alico building today and rolled to my window and screamed, "It's Bloody Happy Hour!" And I just know she said, "Who the F is that?" when I drove off. So shout out to Emily.
Yay, Emily. Thanks for making me feel real famous.
Yes, it's awesome. Keep doing it. You are real famous. I mean, how did she even know what you looked like?
I don't know. No idea.
And then I ran into somebody over the weekend at Shorty's, and well, it's your friend, so much of it still. She was like, "I love the show, blah blah blah. I'm a friend of April's," and so, I mean, basically, we're pretty much
autographs.
Like, we
are
our local celebrities.
We've made it. Okay. What else? Is there anything else? Listen to the quickie if you want to hear Casey Anthony's voice.
Yes, quickie. We did Casey Anthony and Lori Vallow.
And the 2 worst moms ever. Tot Mom.
Worst.
Was it Tot Mom and Cult Mom?
And Doomsday. What? Yes, Cult Mom, Doomsday Mom, whatever she is. She's the mom.
They're the worst.
Yeah. So, well, you're listening to this. So last week on Friday, the Dateline came out with Lori Vallow's 2-hour interview with Keith Morrison.
Watch it. But I did see something about the Koberger case that that it was inconclusive.
Maddie Mogan, one of the girls who was murdered, it came back that there were 3 under her fingernail clippings. There were 3 different DNA sources. I haven't heard that there's been the. I don't want to say anything because it was like I hear this and I hear this, but from a most reliable source, it's not saying that he's not one of the DNA sources. We don't know if he is or if he isn't one of the DNA sources.
Because it was inconclusive, right? Brian Koberger's?
I don't know because And then the court goes on to say he's tired of all the secret filings. He just wants it to be public.
Okay.
Because a lot of it's like under seal, I guess. But I'm like, I agree. And then because then I kept seeing something coming out of the other roommate with giving all these other statements that she says she didn't see the eyebrows.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. So they're just trying to confuse everybody. And I just like...
They need to get it together before trial.
Give us the DNA. Get all three of those. I mean, get all the... Like, why is it...
But they had been out that night, so it could be anybody's.
I know.
Anybody's DNA.
Like, how long does DNA stay under your fingernail?
I don't know.
I don't either.
Till it's washed off.
Okay, so she gave a hug to somebody. Maybe sometimes you see somebody like scratch them on the head, like, hey.
Yeah.
Like, would that be DNA under your fingernails?
Yeah. Who knows?
So I feel like that is just not really like... We just don't know because nothing's is able to be released. So it's just like these tidbits of information. So, but it's supposed to happen in August, the trial.
All the good stuff comes out in the trial.
Yeah.
All the good stuff. Okay, let's finish with Vanessa Guillen. Where we ended last week is basically her remains had been found, and Tim Miller was on the scene, told the family about it. Family's devastated. But they had a little bit of sense of peace because now they at least know and she's found. So now the focus is justice. Mm-hmm. And everybody knows that it was Aaron Robinson, right? He was the supervisor type person that was working with her that day. So we know he was seen with the Tough Box. And we know that his cell phone pinged at the location where her body was. But did he act alone? Or did his orange hair, hideous girlfriend help him?
She for sure did. She's
that thirsty.
She just looks like it.
The police
and
bring
I am judging
Cecily in to question her.
You have two strikes against you. You got that. You got a name and the orange hair and just all the things.
So they bring her in to question her and ask what really happened. And she stuck to her story. Oh, we hung out all night at his apartment. That's it. What's the deal? And so the police were like, if y'all hung out all night, why did he call you a trillion times that night? And she was like, because I'd lost my phone in the apartment somewhere. And so he was calling it so that we could find it.
Okay.
So they didn't believe that at all. And so they were like, well, but your phones weren't pinging at the apartment. They were pinging by Leon River.
Oh.
Out by the lake.
How'd they get there?
And if y'all were at home. And she goes, I forgot. We went for a drive because we got in an argument and we went for a drive and we always like to go to the water.
Oh, so you can drown each other?
Yeah.
Okay.
So police was like, how funny, because exactly where your cell phones pinged is exactly where we discovered Vanessa's body today.
What?
Up until right now.
So Vanessa stole their phones?
Yes, she should have just kept it going.
Oh my God.
She should have kept it going. So, and then they bring in something that has the body of the smell of decomposition. And they were like, do you smell this? This is Vanessa's body. Why was your phone where Vanessa's body was found? And she goes,
thank
Robinson
goodness.
Killed her. Robinson did it. And she's diarrhea at the mouth now.
Threw him under the bus.
So, April 22nd, she said, that's the day Vanessa went missing. She said that she was working a shift at a gas station. It's probably the grossest gas station ever.
Yeah, and she probably doesn't wear shoes.
She looks just like
she wears no shoes. She wears no shoes. She has like crusty toes. And she eats those burritos. You know she does.
Gas station burritos and hot dogs.
Yeah, hot dogs.
So she's working the shift at the gas station, and she said Robinson came to pick her up, and they drove straight to the Leon River.
Oh, because
And
I thought they got in a fight though.
no,
Oh, story
actually,
changed.
on the way there, he told her that he lost it and grabbed a hammer and hit Vanessa over her head, put her in the tough box, and is now taking her out to the river to dispose of her.
So orange hair is just
in the passenger seat
got picked up,
saying
and she's like, I don't know. I did not know that. I did not know you had a dead body in the back in the tough box, and now I'm here, and I'm stuck.
Well, okay, so actually, he had disposed of her when he did it, because remember, he did it like 10 a.m.
Okay.
Disposed of the tough box. He picked her up later on, and then they both went out there. So she went out there knowing what was out there waiting on her.
Did she?
Was a tough box.
Or
Yes.
was that just where they went to blow off steam, and she just happened to be that same spot, and she didn't know about it?
Well,
Mm-hmm.
so she said that Robinson said when Vanessa had got to work that she had glanced at his phone and saw the wallpaper on his phone. There was a picture, and the picture was of Cecily. Okay? And Cecily, remember, is the wife of another soldier. So he said he did not want Vanessa telling everybody that he was having an affair with the wife of another soldier.
So
That's
Robinson
has a picture of his ugly ass girlfriend on the phone.
And it's not even his girlfriend because
She's married.
She's married.
Yeah,
And that's the picture on his phone.
that's the picture. On
Like
his phone.
nobody's going to see it.
Like nobody's gonna see it.
And Vanessa saw it.
Vanessa saw it and obviously recognized who she was. And
was like,
that
hey,
that's so and so's girlfriend.
that's a convenience store chick. Orange hair.
That's Keon's wife. What are you doing with Keon's wife on your phone?
What are you doing with Carrot Top?
So, but it didn't make sense because everybody on the base had already known about this scandal. It's like high school, right? When a soldier sleeps with another soldier's wife.
Oh, they already knew he
everywhere.
was cheating.
They already knew
that she was cheating.
They were living together with another soldier roommate. So that was bogus. But at this time, she was saying was his reasoning for killing her. So then they went and they parked at the Leon River, and he opened it up for her to show her Vanessa. And he goes, we got to take her body out, but I can't do it. So guess who did?
Oh, Cecily. She'd been working out.
Cecily was like, I can.
Yeah, she was
Let me help
really,
you.
she looks really strong. Kind of like shot put build.
Yes.
Yeah.
With
More of a pear shape.
So Cecily took her out, and then with their machetes, they went to work hacking her body piece by piece. Head, arms, and legs. And then they tried to burn her remains, but it didn't work. So they dug 3 different holes and buried pieces of her in each hole. They went home and they burned Vanessa's clothing, and then they
Why are they burning her? Like, they just burned all of her clothes?
So her clothes are off. They must have took off the clothes to dismember her, and then they were burning. Her clothes are evident, so they're burning her clothes.
Why? You're just causing... Anyway.
So...
You want to cut through the cloth, but you want to cut through the bone?
Acme Joy makes top-of-the-line adult products, provides sex toys like male masturbators, penis pumps, cock rings, anal stimulators, realistic dildos, and sex dolls, etc. Founded in 2011, Acme Joy has long held the belief everyone deserves a better orgasm. Acme Joy prides itself on being able to satisfy a wide range of sexual needs, and provide a greater variety of orgasms. It adheres to the idea that everyone deserves a better orgasm. Whether you want to experience surreal oral sex pleasure, true to slight intercourse, or even more intense anal stimulation, Acme Joy will always offer something beyond your imagination. Acme Joy's goal is to provide high-quality products at the optimal prices to every user, as well as superior customer service. Go to acmejoy.com.
Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internex. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. Enjoy seamless, fast storage without compromising security. Visit Internext.com today and take control of your digital life. That's INTERNXT.com today.
On April 26th, they went back out to the crime scene. So it all happened on 22nd. On the 26th, they went back out. Cecily had bought some supplies off somebody from Facebook Marketplace. She'd bought hairnets, gloves, and concrete.
She's she works at the cafeteria part-time. That's why she needs the hairnet and the gloves. And the concrete was for her husband/boyfriend. Because they're building or something.
What kind of weird person were you buying from that you're weird? This person was selling gloves, concrete, and a hairnet. It's 2 red flags. So then they poured the concrete, mixed up the concrete, and poured it on top of the 3 holes that they dug.
Where was this lake?
Near the Leon River, yeah.
Leon River.
Yeah.
And is it like a sandy kind of a area? Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking about...
It's not sand. It's not like
But they just dug holes in the ground?
But it's like forests and trees and everything everywhere. And they had dug holes in the ground and put the body parts in the holes. Days later, they want to come put concrete on the body parts because they're trying to mask the smell of what's about to be a bad smell. And... they don't want animals to go and get it, so
why not?
I guess they thought they were being smart. And then she told them, I had to do this because he held a gun to my head and threatened my life if I did not help him do all this.
Well, get him, girl. Throw him under the bus.
So, detectives convince her to try to get a confession out of Aaron. So they tell her, call Aaron and talk to him and see if you can get a confession. Because I guess as of now, they only have like these eyewitness, right? Seeing him with the tough box. So when he answered the phone, he didn't even say hello. He says, baby, they found pieces of her. And then he's sending her links of the news clips of them finding the body.
Dumbass.
Now, what she didn't know is that when she called him, he had been ordered into a conference room at Fort Hood. Mm-hmm. Okay? And officials were keeping an eye on him. They told him that he broke quarantine protocol, and so he's basically in timeout on base. They'll deal with him in a little bit. Mm-hmm. So he was there for hours. They were actually waiting on an arrest warrant. So he was in a room with a TV and video games. So he played video games. He watched TV. And that is when he saw on the news that Vanessa's body had been recovered. Cecily called him, and then he panicked.
And it's all because of the cell phone ping. Like, to where they found the body.
Yeah.
Because they pinged their cell phones there?
Later on, they found the body because Tim Miller was, like, always search near water.
And they could pick up the scent?
They smelled decomposed. So the maintenance workers.
Or whatever?
No, there wasn't dogs. So they were there. They were there for all these days, and they smelled decomposition, but they found no body parts. A couple days later, some maintenance men were working, and they smelled decomposition, And they called in because they were thinking, I wonder if this is this missing girl. And then that's how they discovered it was Vanessa.
And they found
So it was just the maintenance workers. They found the 3 holes with the cement. They found the bones of the body and all her black hair attached to the body.
Yo, damn.
So when he got anxious when they found the body part. So then he decided to run. And he was able to because the officials on the base weren't really watching him. He slipped out and he just took off running. Runner like a rock star.
Shit.
And they looked everywhere for him. Base police, regular police. They did not find him for a while. And then later on that night, they found him 6 miles away from the base. He was still walking. So they surround him and they try to apprehend him. And he pulls out his gun and he aims it at his head and he pulls the trigger.
Oh, shit. He shoots himself?
He shoots himself. This is what I remember on the news. I remember them finding the body. Then they got a soldier. And he was running. Like, he was running. And then the next report, like, right after that was like, oh, he killed himself.
Because then it went, like, it got, like, kind of caught steam, I guess. It caught attention.
Yeah, well,
more attention.
This was, yeah, because mind you, this was months after it all happened.
Something broke,
yeah. We hadn't known anything, and so it was like right after the body was found.
All of a sudden, there's this dead.
Yeah, he panicked.
Yeah,
panic. So, Vanessa's family was devastated. They wanted answers and they wanted justice, and now they felt like they would never get them because he obviously did it. But they don't know why. So right after he killed himself, Cecily Aguilar got arrested and on like 11 counts. But none of them was like murder. It was like accessory and tampering and
being
false,
ugly.
Making false reports and having orange hair.
Yeah.
So
not wearing shoes while working.
Yeah.
Having Walmart feet.
Eating hot dogs.
On the
corner
job.
Store.
Yeah. Like, come on now.
And probably Dr. Pepper. She looks like she drinks Dr. Pepper. It's the worst.
And I know she don't brush her teeth or her hair.
They look into her more, and they see that Cecily had made a Facebook post soon after Vanessa went missing. And the Facebook post said, "People who fight fire with fire, you're only left with the ashes of your own integrity." And they just thought that was funny because Vanessa was burned to ashes. So they wondered if this was like her own little evil
mind
pun.
trick.
Yeah. So Vanessa's family is even more pissed at the base and the military because, one, why was Aaron not being watched better? Why did he have his cell phone? And then how could they let him leave? And then how did he even get the gun? He was being investigated for murder. So he was still allowed during these 2 months, even though they knew that he was a suspect, he was being allowed to work at the armory with all those guns. So while he was going to work...
Why?
While he was going to work, he was working around all these guns. So he must have took one with him.
Oh my gosh.
And then, now that they know he most likely did it, the room where she was last seen, where they were together, they never treated it like a crime scene. So you knew this is the last place Vanessa was. It was still open to the people who worked there. It was never shut down. It was never like red taped and luminoled or anything, never treated like a crime scene. So any evidence that might have been there is clearly gone and messed up. So Friday, July 3rd, the remains were confirmed as Vanessa.
Mm-hmm.
They had a memorial for her in her hometown. And I remember this on the news. They had white horses, white horse-drawn carriages carrying the casket down the road that like her school was on. They had the Selena song playing Dreaming of You. They had a big funeral mass, and I felt like it was televised.
Tonight.
Or pieces of it was
I
televised.
feel like I do remember seeing it.
I remember the carriages vividly.
Because it was like very, very like, I mean, it was beautiful.
It was big, yeah. Now, so the funeral was over, and whether or not Robinson was the person who sexually harassed her, they weren't sure because he wasn't here to ask.
Yeah.
But it made sense. If he was the one that was harassing her, it made sense that he would be the one to kill her. Like, if he killed her, he'd be the one that was also harassing her. So the Guillen family was just like, this is BS. My sister shouldn't be dead. They wanted to make real change, and they wanted to target the base, the military in general. They never wanted another soldier to be harassed and feel unsafe and never not feel safe enough to do anything about it. So they go to the White House. They wanted to pass the I Am Vanessa Guillen Act.
Yeah.
Like a bill. So they have this conversation with Trump. This was televised. It was the mom, the sisters, and their lawyer. And they're there, and they have a long conversation. And they're telling the story about Vanessa Guillen, how she couldn't report it because her higher ups were the ones that were doing it, and that they want this bill to be able to go outside of like the military. Like, she should be able to call Belton PD or whatever, and they investigate it.
Yeah.
It should have other channels and not the way that it's going. It also should be prosecuted outside of the military base because they're going to be biased.
Likely.
And so they were like, Trump, we want you to be a part of this. We know you love our military. We know you love our troops. We need to protect them. We need to protect the victims. And we need to penalize the aggressors, right? And Trump was like, yes, I agree. Bet. And so now they're on a mission. They want to pass this. And so Trump was supposed to take this to Congress and like let it pass, right? They are not the only ones that want this to pass. They have tens of thousands of soldiers behind them. There are so many peaceful protests in front of bases all over the nation, and the family keeps taking these trips to Washington because they had a purpose. They wanted to do something honorable for Vanessa. But sadly, even after meeting with Trump and the agreement, it was never even taken to Congress. It was never even mentioned, and therefore it couldn't even be talked about to be passed.
Because what they do is they do a what's called a cloture vote. So then they have to have this separate vote in order to get it to be
Congress
into the next level of voting. So it
didn't make it. It didn't make it anywhere.
That's just like the no men in women's sports that they just did. They had to do a cloture vote, and they had to get like 60 or whatever total, and they got like 53 saying, we do not want men in women's sports.
Yeah.
They had to have 60. They only got 53. So people who didn't vote, so then it doesn't go on to the Senate floor to then get that.
It's got to go back and start all over?
I don't know what the process is from there, but I don't know why all these people want men and women's sports, but I don't know why they didn't want justice for Vanessa Guillen.
So, people were pissed that it wasn't even brought to. And so this was a slap in the face. This is all the comments that were coming out. Like when they were interviewing people about it, and they were like, the comments on the articles that were coming out is that it was not acted on yet. So this was a slap in the face, is some of the comments for Vanessa and her family and all the military victims that need to be protected. So on March 25th, 2021, Cecily tried to have her confession thrown out, and it almost happened. She was not read her Miranda rights until 3 hours after she gave the confession. They talked to her like she was helping them, I guess. Help us get Aaron, help us get Aaron. And then Aaron killed himself. And then they were like, oh, let me read you. You're right.
Actually, I just want to let you know that you do have the right to remain silent.
Yes.
Anything and everything else that's said will be used against you in court.
So she said had they done that at the beginning, she might not have said the confession. So while they are at the courthouse trying to get this thrown out, hundreds and thousands of people were outside the courthouse days before and the day of. Lock her up, lock her up, lock her up. They were chanting. They had signs. It was all peaceful protests, but they wanted the judge to know that this, like, do not do this. Do not do this. And her trial was coming up, and she was pleading not guilty to all the 11 charges. But luckily enough, the judge did not throw out the confession, and so now they're waiting for trial. And it's April of 2021, and during the investigation of Fort Hood, it has now come out, because remember episode 1, they were like, we demand a full investigation of Fort Hood.
Yeah.
We demand the place be searched. They demanded. Well, they got what they wanted. And it had proven during this investigation that Vanessa did report sexual assault on 2 separate occasions with 2 different higher-ups.
Oh, gosh.
But they never moved it,
did anything about it.
up the chain of command, obviously. And then the name of the superiors were never released, so we still don't know if it was Aaron Robinson. And we have no idea who that other person was. But we do know that they speak Spanish, because in the report, the
prosecutor?
No, during the sexual assault reports, she put on there what he had said in Spanish and then translated it in English. So now the speculation is Aaron Robinson did sexually assault her, and when he was in the room alone with her, he actually raped her and then killed her to cover up the rape. Which, that's what I think. I also think the first superior that called her in on her day off and said, I just need you to do one thing to one gun, even though you got another worker right there that does the same thing you do.
Set it up.
So he must be the other person. And acted like, oh, I don't know where she went. The door was locked. And then, like, I really think he's just out there living his life.
Are you kidding?
That's just my idea. Now,
hey, it's Haley Steinfeld. When everything requires your attention, it can be tough to figure out what to prioritize. But I'm here to talk to you about something that you should always put first, your breast health. In fact, if you're 40 and over, you should be getting screened once a year. And if you're under 40, it's never too soon to visit yourattentionplease.com to learn about your breast cancer risk. So go on, pay the girls some attention and take the time to find out your breast cancer risk at yourattentionplease.com. Trust me, your future self will thank you.
BTW, FYI. Visit Nexplanon.com RN to learn about Nexplanon. It's an adjustable implant, 68 milligrams radiopaque. Or ask your HCP IRL. Okay, TTYL.
By this time, obviously, Fort Hood's really been exposed for corruption, for toxic leadership. And so now the leadership is being investigated. And the findings were, in 2018, 2,500 reports of sexual assault were never investigated. So all 14 people of the leadership that they investigated, they were all relieved of their military duties. Mm-hmm. But Mama Gloria says this is not enough. I want prison time. They didn't do their job, and my daughter paid the price for it. She deserved to live. She is not a cockroach that we don't care when they die. She deserved to live. So December 2021, the I Am Vanessa Guillen Act was finally passed.
Mm-hmm.
President Joe Biden, the one good thing he probably did, did what Trump was unable to do and passed the I Am Vanessa Guillen Act. So,
Good.
August 22nd.
That needed to be done.
Yes. The Guillen family sued the U.S. government for $35 million. Wrongful death.
Oh, because they're basically suing the military.
Yeah. Wrongful death, failure to protect Vanessa from sexual assault, failure to investigate it, and then all the pain and suffering and all the stuff, right?
Yeah.
So that is not done yet. It's still ongoing. I could not find that
if anything has been done from that.
Yeah, like if they were rewarded or the last thing I saw on that is when they announced that they were being sued.
Dang.
Right before Cecily's trial, her husband, Keon, was shot to death in the streets. It's like everybody that is around her dies.
Well, get fucked again.
So during the trial, Cecily said that...
Oh, gosh.
So by this time, she has now pleaded guilty, okay? And she is speaking on the stand. And this trial happened in Waco.
What?
Yes.
Damn.
We talked about it on our quickie when it was done, but I don't even know why we didn't even go. But because all this good stuff...
When was it?
In 2023.
Oh, my gosh. That was like yesterday.
August 2023, yeah.
Shit, we should have gone. You know we'd go.
So during the trial, Cecily said that they had got the idea to chop her up and pour semen on her from an episode of Criminal Minds. And I've seen every episode 40 times. I can't even think of the episode. It also took them 7 hours to dismember and burn her. They also, Robinson's roommate, so Aaron had a roommate that lived in the apartment with them, and the roommate testified that Cecily had told roommate that Aaron raped Vanessa after she was dead. Killed her, raped her, and then took her out there.
Oh, my God.
But I wouldn't even... Yeah. I don't know. So he's a necrophiliac, too?
I guess.
And I feel like she would be there to watch it.
For sure.
At the trial, she was diagnosed with RAD, Reactive Attachment Disorder. It's a condition where a child fails to form healthy emotional bonds with caretakers and parental figures as a result of emotional neglect at an early age. But I feel like she's opposite of that. Like she's forming a very well, I guess that is what it means. She's forming a very overly unhealthy bond with her 5-minute boyfriend that she helped dismember a body for.
Yeah, that's a little extreme. Cecily?
It said Cecily was given up by her mother days after her birth, after the mother was deemed an unfit parent. And then she went into the custody of her grandmother until she was adopted at the age 2. And her adopted parents reported that they had a hard time connecting with her emotionally and physically. So were you born bad? That's young.
Yes.
At 2 years old, nobody can connect with you?
Well, I think if you don't like hold your baby and like do the skin to skin nurture things, they say that like makes a big difference.
Nature versus
like because
nurture.
sometimes even like because if I'm at home a lot, which I have been lately. By the way, if anybody's hiring out there, I may be looking for a job. But it's like you don't get a lot of people connection. You don't get a lot of physical connection. So it's like. If whatever, I like hug somebody, I'm like, I need like a 20-second hug because then that releases endorphins and it makes you happy and it makes you feel better. So sometimes you just need like that physical touch it doesn't, if you don't get it.
When you don't get it at the beginning.
I guess then you become like a detached kind of a person, an emotionless person, and apparently a killer.
She ran away as a child.
Probably
She
because she had
eventually
that
left.
ugly-ass orange hair, and her parents did not want her to live there.
She left them on bad terms, and I bet they were really happy that she left.
I think they were thankful.
Especially later on when she was in the
He gonna
news.
save us money on all that hair dye.
She told the psychologist in an interview
To
that
go
she
fuck himself.
became homeless at the age of 15 and worked as a prostitute to make ends meet. So this was the defense. Who are they? The defense way of maybe trying to get some empathy from the jury. Also, during the trial, they showed a video of Cecily taking the police through the crime scene. And during this video, she had no emotion, and she often joked with the police officers.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
No emotion.
Because that's how she deals with stress. Or does she do, I don't know if she does drugs, but.
So when asked why Robinson did this, Cecily was like, I really don't know, because he didn't know her. Her name was not even saved in his phone. But I think that's a lie. They worked together every day. He was harassing her. I think she was jealous. I think she was trying to make her seem like she was nobody, right? Mm. Her phone wasn't even in his phone. Her name wasn't even in his phone. Like,
yeah, that's
she was,
bad.
Like, she was nothing.
Nothing.
But really, Robinson was obsessed with her. And that made Cecily feel horrible. Obsessed with Vanessa.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So she showed no remorse, but eventually, I told you she changed her plea deal, her plea to guilty, and on 1 count of accessory after the fact and 3 count of making false statement. She was sentenced to a maximum of 30 years. This trial was August 2023. Now, when Gloria, Mama Guillen, heard the verdict, right? 30 years. They wanted max, and I think that's max. I mean, she couldn't get any more than that. She said, I give my no, I'm lying. When Cecily was sentenced, she made a statement. I give my sincerest apologies to the family. I'm ashamed of my actions and the person I was. My actions haunt me every day. Vanessa did not deserve what happened to her. I am hoping that one day, Miss Guillen, that you will have comfort. She won't. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to say sorry in person. The family looked at her unreacted. But Gloria's statement was, may God touch her heart and may she repent. She is a young woman, and I don't wish death on anybody. I just wish for justice to be served, and that's what I got. And so, May 2023, Fort Hood was renamed Fort Cavazos. This is a month after the trial, and I do think it's twofold. I always thought it was because Fort Hood was thrown in the news and turned upside down and crooked and corrupt, and they renamed it to get away from that bad association.
Hood?
Yes, but it was also renamed, so Cavazos was named after General Richard E. Cavazos, the first Hispanic American 4-star general. He served in the Korean Vietnam War. But I also saw that it was a change because of the legislation that required removal of Confederate names. So Hood was a Confederate soldier back in the day that fought for slavery. So that was a name towards,
It's called what now?
Fort Cavazos.
It's just so much easier to say Hood.
Yeah. But Hood wanted slavery. Yeah. Cavazos did not. And I bet they chose a Mexican because Vanessa was Mexican.
As they should. As they should.
Anyways, so that is the story of Vanessa Guillen.
Yay!
Dun, dun, dun.
And all this time, I thought she was found in a container in like side of some building somewhere. No. I don't know why that story was in my head, unless it was just like an early...
Because that was pieces of the story, right? Because she was put in the container in a building on the base, taken to the trunk, and then dropped her body at the river. Yeah. And then later on came back and did all that stuff. That was halfway
crazy.
Right. Yeah.
Bitch is crazy.
So there's Vanessa Guillen. Okay. It is your turn next week. Is it 10:30? Why does it say 10:30?
I don't know. I feel like it's 10:30. Like I'm as well asleep.
All right. That is it. We'll see y'all next week.
Good story. Good story.
Go and rate this podcast, review this podcast, and send this podcast to a friend.
Send it out. All the people. This is a big story. This is a nationwide story. Yeah. Share it. Do all the things.
Or any episode. And that helps us grow. Yeah. So help us grow. Don't forget to
stay aware,
stay alive,
and always be DTF.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.